What's poppin', y'all? The Last of Us episode 2. Look, I have to write these notes down. Key points I want to talk about. Only reason why I do it like this for right now, eventually I'm going to get to the point where I'm not going to need notes, is because I played the video game and I don't want to go too far into the story, the stuff, especially stuff I haven't been seeing yet, and I don't want to accidentally say something, so just kind of keep me in check. I want to run it for people that haven't. Of course, by now you know it's based off a video game. Let's just dive right into it, man. Episode 2. Okay, but look, I can talk about this because this part wasn't even in their video game, and I like what they're doing. So the part where they met the professor, what was the name? Ibu Ratna, professor of mycology in Indonesia. Yeah, so that part wasn't in the video game, and as well as from the first episode when they do the when they did the TV interview, that wasn't in the video game. So I like how they did. This is what I think they did. I think they did that part, and I think from then on, every beginning of the episode, we learn a little bit more about what we're dealing with. Fungus, what type of fungus, the details and everything. So, or what can we do about it, or why we at the point that we at. Because remember, it's like from the first episode, it skipped 20 years. So they describing from when it first happened from the first episode, and they're just gonna go. That is dope storytelling right there, and it's giving you pieces of it in the beginning. So it's like their version of how this happened, and then it goes to the original storyline of the video game. So what you see from episode 2, it's exactly how it happened, except for one part. We're gonna get to that part pretty soon. They switched a couple of things, which I don't have a problem with. So the doctor, yeah, she goes and you just see the parasite. I'm like, damn, this should look nasty. It looks like any you seen Resident Evil 5? Or what's that old ass movie? That movie with Usher was in it. The Faculty? You remember The Faculty? It's like an updated version of that type of parasite. Like, honestly, it's almost identical. That is so dope. But they just changed it to, like a fungi, and you have to go learn information about fungi, how it spread or whatever. They do all that stuff. So the interview was dope. That was well needed, and it adds on to the eerie feeling of what episode 1 brought. Now you talked about the fungi, everybody was laughing. Then when you really started talking about it, it got quiet. The whole episode, it was just another. It was like it builds your anticipation. If you played the video game, it builds your anticipation, and then at the same time, if you haven't played a video game, it builds your anticipation on what's about to happen. So you even if you know, you kind of don't know, you just want to see which way they go. But execution about that is so damn dope. Like, man. And then so after that part, it goes right where it left off at when you find out that Ellie's infected. And then I thought this part was really amazing because you see the body language between Joe and Tess. You just see them just sitting there, and their body language is like, all right, we might have to take this girl out. And then after a little bit of talking, and then a little bit more explaining about the situation, you go from a defensive/offensive body language to a relaxed and a hopeful body language. And it was just on one side. From Joe, it was just like, Joe, you can read. Okay, this is like a body language. Everything about that scene was body language. You have to read the language from them. Obviously, you have to read that language. So it's just Joe doesn't want to be around her. Tess at first didn't, but now she's starting to see the greater purpose. So she's like, okay, we gotta do this. I want to see how this is going to end, how this is going to play out. She's strictly intrigued. Tess is strictly intrigued. Joe don't want to be around her for sentimental reasons. He reminds her of his daughter, and then you can just tell how he is. Like, he just so anxious to get away from her because it just puts him in that mindset. He doesn't even want to engage in conversation unless he absolutely have to. And there was a scene when Tess climbed up over the rock to go open the door on the other side. He was looking like, how do I communicate? He didn't know what to do. Like he just does it. Like he just it's like he's trying to keep his sanity by keeping his distance away from her. Like it's just amazing. But you can constantly see him slowly, surely opening up to her. Like it's like almost like a parental instinct. That's what's going. That's the way it looks like it's heading. And then the reason why they got Ellie to tell her, I don't think too many people pay attention to this. The reason why they got her to like tell her the story, even though they threatened her, and Ellie seemed like the type that don't succumb to threats, it's because of what happened in the first episode. The first episode, remember when the dude was about to shoot him because they was outside the walls, and then he had the flashback and he killed him? Her seeing that was intriguing, but at the same time, it set the tone for her to like, I don't want to cross the Joe. So even though he had no intention of killing her, that thought of him doing that and the action, it's like a bluff. Like if she would have called his bluff, she probably would have got away with it. But the fact that she's seen him kill with his bare hands, she's not gonna call that bluff. So that scene connected with how they moved and how they interrogated her, all that detail was so dope. I mean, it can be minorly missed, but it's all connected. They are really sticking to the script. And I'm always said, if you do a video game and you turn it into a show or a movie, how could you mess it up when the blueprint is right in front of you? Like just go watch the video game study and then do that. You don't need to do anything extra. If you're gonna add anything extra, you can do your little stuff in the middle, pieces here and there. Kind of like I like how they doing it. They doing their little own extras in the beginning, but it's like stuff you didn't tell in the beginning, how the fungus and all that stuff happened. Like even go to a little explanation on how it's spread and how it's activated, how they know where you at, how the infected know where you at, all that good stuff. So all that body language and everything, I was a pickup. Even the scene when she was explaining, she did explain how they know where the infected know where to go. Stepped on the little strands of fungus and they know exactly where you at and they come. But if you notice, look at how Joe was looking at Ellie. Like he just like, I can't believe it. And then this was after she told him his age. After she said his age, so it's like he's starting to remember, starting to get that fatherly instinct. Like that, the way they look, the way they act, all that stuff, they are really killing that. Now we're gonna go to the part I want to talk about. The part that stood out to me the most and the highlight about this episode was the damn clickers. Even when it was on the bridge and on a bridge, it screamed, and they looking around like, what's going on? So I'm like, all right, I know what this is. I want to see how it's going to turn out. I want to see how they're going to move. I want to see how they're going to act. I want to see how everything is going to be. So when they come across the little dead body sitting there, they're like, what did that? And then they already knew what it was. Like, shut up, let's do this. So they moving, and you come across the first clicker. So the sound was on point. The movement was on point. The fact that they couldn't see, they tell you that they couldn't see you, but they can hear you. That was on point. Everything about that scene, even the way they looked, I can tell that they probably wanted to switch it up, but it would have been dumb if they would have. I'm pretty sure, because I always try to switch something up, but I'm glad they kept it exactly how it was in the video game, because it added that effect. Like the way that the face looked and all that stuff, it was so dope. So I'm looking at it, and as I remember the damn game, I'm smiling like, I can't believe this. This is so crazy. Like the sound, the way they run, the way they move, the way they walk, the way they move, like, I hate to say this, they move like a meth head. But it was just an ultimate tweak. That was so dope. Like, and then like in a video game, of course you're gonna have a lot of references, but like in a video game, you shoot, get in the fight scene happened, that actually happened. So you shoot him, and you be like, oh, I can shoot him in the head. This is dope. That does not kill. You need to shoot them multiple times. So that little small detail. Right, he did some. I can't. That's why I got this note. This is why I got the notes, because I don't want to go too far. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But the difference, like the difference from infected, the difference from infected and clickers. They made that details like night and day. And then you go off screen and you come back. And then guess what happened? Tess get infected. She get bitten. And then it's like maybe like you could tell something was up from how her body language was when they were talking on the roof. Like she already knew. And then you just see how her is. And then it went from a pipe dream and hope to this is real. This is my life. This is it for me. But Ellie, this is real. This is 3 weeks, and this is only a few minutes. I'm already about to go. The scene this is the scene that they changed. This is the scene that they changed. It's so hilarious because I'm looking at it. I'm like, infected didn't happen right here. But in the video game, of course, they gotta have action. It was military that came and killed them and killed all the fireflies, and they came to do another sweep, and it was coming to kill them. I like how they made it to infected because it only made sense that infected was out there and they're so far away from the walls that they came and they did what they did. And then this scene right here where they showed this, I was looking like, this is nasty. That was a really dope way for Tess to go out. I was like, all right. And then guess what? The episode ended. I'm like, it's gonna be a hard video to do a review, but at the same time, I can keep it at that. Like I said, these notes, they keep me in check because I don't want to ruin the ride for everybody else. So I'm gonna take this ride along with everybody. We're gonna go this episode by episode. This is episode 2. Obviously, next week I'm gonna do episode 3. We're gonna pick it up from there. Shout out to everybody for supporting my channel, man. I keep doing that work. I'm gonna keep bringing this work.